Yo, what's good? Happy Sunday, everybody. We are feeling it today. The Sports Bar Podcast is going live, as we always do, somewhere around about this time. I am your boy, Prime Source. What's good?
These frosted flakes. These frosted flakes are good this morning. Trying to get my life together, bro. I'm trying to get my life together. It's been a whole week of sickness. A week of
Well,
sickness, but trying to get it back.
glad that you are on the men. Once again, good morning, everybody who jumping in right now. Bruce, what's going on, my man? AJ, what's good? See you out and about this morning. Good morning, everybody that's jumping in and joining us today, because we got a whole lot we're gonna talk about today. A whole lot. And we're a week away from the Super Bowl, so but there's some other things that have been happening. So we are definitely going to get into them today. But we're gonna start this off first by wishing the great Hammer and Hank Aaron a happy birthday, born on this day. And also, we did have a couple of birthdays here in the Sports Bar Podcast group in the past couple of days. Not forgetting if I'm forgetting about it, but shout out to DB Dorian Bryant, birthday yesterday, one of the OGs of the group, and another OG from the group. His birthday is today. Our main man, Tom Brady's best friend, Mr. Brian Austin.
Brian Austin.
Yeah, no doubt. So happy birthday to
Indeed.
the OGs. We had two OGs having birthdays in the group today. Good morning, Cheryl. My people right there. It's all good. It's all good. But look, Source, I'm gonna go ahead and warn you right off top.
Uh-oh.
Warn you right off top. You sitting pretty, you playing for a Super Bowl. I know you can get to whatever's about anything right now. I'm gonna warn you the top of the show, some of the stuff you ain't gonna really care about. And I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now, it's gonna be some cowboy talking here, but I need to have the conversation with you because you're gonna be a mind that's not a Dallas Cowboy fan. So I'm gonna get your opinion on a couple of topics that are gonna mix in with some other things. No doubt. Sean Venable was good. DB, my man, the birthday guy. Hope your weekend been off the chain. Mike, what's going on? Monique Ray, good morning, everybody. Um, but yeah, man, we got a whole lot we're gonna talk about. So let's go ahead and dive into it. And first off, in news, man, let's go ahead and talk about some coaching stuff, right? So we all know that up top that Sean Payton has signed his contract with the Denver Broncos. And a lot of people are wondering, what does this mean for that franchise? What is your opinion? Like, can he turn this thing around? I mean, is he the coach for this team? If you think about everything they went through this past year.
I thought it was a good signing. I thought it was a positive thing. But I looked in the comments, different people talking about this topic, and it's like, they're like, it's Sean Payton. Am I missing something?
Yeah. I don't know, man. People got comments because it's the Broncos. People got comments because of what Russ went through last year. People got comments. I think they were looking for him to take in their eyes what was a higher profile job, I guess.
Well, that sounds good, except a year ago at this time, even though I didn't understand it, the world definitely was on some Denver is going to compete to win the division stuff. Were they not?
That is
And that was
true.
with a first year coach. Now, Russ had a terrible season, especially for Russell Wilson standards. I get that. But are y'all telling me that the team that so many people thought could win the division now has a proven Super Bowl winning coach who was and is highly touted by one Jerry Jones, I believe, yeah, on a regular basis. It's like he wanted to bring him in, even if he had a good coach. But anyway, and now he's in Denver with Russ. You don't think that's a good combination? I don't know. I don't know. It was weird. It's weird. I don't understand it.
Well, the first thing he's gonna have to do is he's gonna have to fix Russ. He has to fix Russ. And anybody that's talking about it was just the coaching, which they did have some horrible coaching this past year. Um, is wrong. If you go back and look at a lot of Russ's games, he just didn't look right. Looked like he had a problem reading the field. I saw him throwing the double coverage countless times. I don't know if it was the offense. I don't know if he's regressing. I don't know what it is. But Sean, has to go in there with himself and the right coaching staff, and they got to fix Russ. And I'm hoping they can do that. Then you look at it, this team is already talented defensively, right? I don't think they got to do a whole lot there. But offensively, if you look at the type of teams, minus Drew Brees, of course, I mean, it's Drew Brees, that Sean Payton has had success with. You go back to the Super Bowls. When they go to Super Bowls, like 2000, it was like 2010, I think. 2010, they went to the Super Bowl, right? Running back, they had a Reggie Bush. Well, they're still figuring out the running back thing. I still like Javonte Williams, but they're still figuring out the running back thing. But if you look at the wide receivers, their big name was Marcus Colston, right? After Marcus Colston, you had a Devery Henderson and a Lance Moore. But I like what they got now. You got a Jerry Jeudy. You got a Cortland Sutton, right? Maybe he goes out and he gets another wide receiver somewhere in the draft or maybe off the market. But I just purely think what all they have to do is implement a system, figure out what's going on with Russ, get the right people around him as far as, the OC, whether Sean's going to call the plays or not. We don't know what's going on with that. And just move now. But I definitely think he can make them contenders. Now, the problem is you're still sitting in the division over there with Patrick Mahomes. Think that at some point or another that the light's going to come on for the Chargers. But, hey, I think it's a great move for the Denver Broncos, man.
Yeah, I'm with you. So I'll understand the negative outlook from some people, but yeah, we'll see what happens. And I think Russ will be okay. I don't think Russ can. I don't think he can fall off. Like, I don't know that I've ever seen anybody fall off the way that he did from one season to the next. But I think there had to be something more to it. So I'd give Russ another shot.
I definitely would give Russ another shot. And I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to win-win situation for both of them. Other coaching news, though, as you can see, as we have up here on the screen, is a question that I've been having with a lot of people in the past couple of weeks. And that's just because Eric Bieniemy's name still continues to come up for coaching jobs, right? More lately, been offensive coordinator jobs because his future is uncertain about him being with Kansas City. So since Washington's wanted to talk to him, Baltimore's wanted to talk to him. He was supposedly still in the mix for the Colts head coaching position. But we've been hearing this year after year after year, and nobody's moving. And you know what it kind of reminds me of? Do you know who Ellis Redding is? Or Boyd?
Ellis
Redding.
Ellis Redding? No.
Or Boyd. Morgan Freeman's character in the Shawshank Redemption. Right? Every time you look, this man was coming up for parole, right? And he would go up there, say what he had to say, interview, whatever you want to call it, when you're trying to get parole. And it all sounded good, and he got denied, right? This is what it looks like to me. Now, we do know eventually that he eventually gets out. Anybody saw the movie, but that's what it kind of reminds me of. But I will still hold true to my stance. Everybody out here hollering about Eric that it's unfair just because he's black. Yeah, we understand that definitely has something to do with it. I don't care what anybody says, but I still think there's something else there. And you've heard me say it a billion times. Either somebody's talking and there's some type of stigma across the league, or he just doesn't interview well. And I'm going to stand to it till we find out what it is.
I actually haven't heard Eric Bieniemy's name this since we started talking about coaching changes at the end of this season, or at the end of the regular season. I haven't heard his name. I haven't heard his name at all, personally. But that's interesting. The jobs that you mentioned, of course, I've had my focus on other things, of course, because, we're playing for the Super Bowl champion, next week. Yeah. Anyway, I haven't heard Eric Bieniemy's name, but I don't understand it. I've seen the hottest commodities as far as coordinators off of 1 or 2 seasons get gigs like that. I don't know, bro.
There's something else. I mean, we can talk about the race thing, and the problem that it is, we're seeing other black coaches, still not as many as it should be, but still getting head coaching jobs. D'Amico Ryans. Like, and he's been hot as a defensive coordinator. Bieniemy has been hot as a offensive coordinator, whether you feel like he really calls the plays or not. He's been hot, right? He can't get in there and come out with a job. I'm telling you guys, there is something else other than just the skin color situation. I'm telling you. I've been telling you. I've been saying to you for the past couple of years. I truly believe it. I truly believe that it is. But something else I've been thinking about though with him.
I'm afraid. What?
No. How do your own people feel about you? Because you think about it, they get ready to play a Super Bowl against your Philadelphia Eagles here in about a week. And you got to think at some point or another, Andy Reid is going to hang this thing up, right? He's not getting any younger. He seems to love what he does, right? But he is not getting any younger. True test will be to see if, let's say, they win it next week, right? They win it. A couple of weeks later, Andy Reid announces, I'm going to retire. Got me another ring, I'm going to retire. You think he gets the job? Because that's going to tell us a lot. Eric Bieniemy, if he doesn't get that job, I mean, why wouldn't you want to have him? If there's nothing wrong with Eric Bieniemy, why wouldn't you want to keep him as your head coach in that organization? You've got arguably the best quarterback in the National Football League locked up for a very long time. He thrives in the offense that they run. Why would you not want to keep Eric Bieniemy as your head coach?
I don't know, Prime. I don't. I have no idea. No idea. I don't. Could I see Kansas City hiring Eric Bieniemy as the head coach? Not really. I don't. I mean, not really. Even if it's nothing, and it looks like something, I still can't see them hiring him as the head coach. First of all, Andy Reid ain't going nowhere. That's problem number one.
You don't think so?
Where are you going? What do you want to do?
Man, he might want to retire, man.
Retire and do what?
Man got rings. I mean, you want to go live life, man. And you just never know. We've seen younger coaches contemplate this thing. Way younger coaches. Sean McVay.
I would be shocked. I'm not shocked by a lot, but I would be shocked to see Andy Reid retire, especially at the end of this season. But what if they lost? What if they lose? That's even more reason to come back, actually. On two ends. One,
you had to throw that in there, didn't you? What if they lose?
What if they lose? I mean, it's possible. They could lose. They still got to play. They still got to play the game. So what if they lose?
Yeah, I mean, that's something. Winning and losing could maybe change what you want to do, for another season or two. But I'd be surprised. Andy been doing this a long time, man.
And he don't want to do anything else.
Well, I still say, let's just say this comes to fruition at the end of this season, maybe even next season if they can bring Bieniemy back, right? I still say that if he does not get that job, if he's still on that staff, that's going to tell you a whole lot. And it's going to add even more credence to what I've just been saying for the longest time. There's something else.
Prime hates Eric Bieniemy. Film at 11.
I don't, bro. Do you understand when I saw that out? I was like, man, I know it ain't going to happen, but, man, we could get him in Dallas. Innovate this offense a little bit. I mean, I know Dak ain't Patrick Mahomes, not even in the same atmosphere, but I'm just saying that innovation in that offense, man, I like Eric Bieniemy. I don't hate him. I'm just speaking what I feel. I like the guy.
Yeah. No.
You say you don't see it happening. Hey, so next up, I was gonna bring this one up last week, right? But we didn't get into it. But hey, it's still a good topic. And this guy right here, Mr. Bart Scott, had a comment, and your boy was included in it. Comment reads, right? In this league, too often we confuse being good with star and superstar. There's only 3 superstar quarterbacks in this league. It's Allen, it's Burrow, and Mahomes. Jalen Hurts is not a superstar. Is he? Is he, Source?
No.
Why you say that?
You can't be a superstar after one season.
Okay.
You can't. You can't be a superstar after one great season. If you ask me, there's only one superstar in that list. There's one. I like Josh Allen. Joe Burrow is great. There's one superstar mentioned in this comment, and his name is Patrick.
One.
Uno. Patrick Mahomes. That's it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, ain't nobody else. Ain't nobody else.
So you don't think you wouldn't classify Joe Burrow as a superstar right now?
Nope.
Interesting. I would probably say
Prime. Top 5 quarterbacks.
well, it's only one quarter. Well, because I ain't saying but one that I care about that doesn't wear a star. You already know. But no, top 5 quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes, definitely. Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, and damn, it gets sticky after that.
Okay.
It gets sticky after that. If we're talking about this past season, then yeah, I'm going this current season, I should say. Then I might have to throw your boy in the mix because, as it was pointed out to me when we brought this up in the group, or maybe I don't know if it was this group or not, but Puka, Robert Scott, he brought. I was in a comment with him. And he did talk about the Eagles' record with Jalen Hurts starting, which is unbelievable.
Yeah, I get it. And that's all well and good. But we throw around superstar too easily, too often.
Right.
Just same way when we talk about hip hop and people say top 5 or people say GOAT. Actually, people say GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
People say GOAT about random rappers,
right?
Or top 5 about random rappers. Like, no, they're not. You don't.
Oh, I agree.
People have to know your name inside and outside of sports for you to be a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
They might know Patrick Mahomes. Ain't no random people on the street knowing Joe Burrow or Josh Allen. They're not. They might recognize him like, oh, I know who that. If you see Patrick Mahomes, you know it's Patrick Mahomes. You see him play, you know who he is. You see what he does on the field, and you see what he's done the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons, right?
Mm-hmm.
What? So I mean,
well, I don't think that's a question.
What levels are we working on? And you can't be a superstar and then be taken away from, oh, you're not really a superstar. And then, oh, we're going to put you back as a superstar. No, you're a superstar or you're not. Patrick Mahomes, everybody else.
Yeah, this Demetrius Strong right here says, talking about Bar Scott. And you know, I agree. I'm just not a person that just because somebody's always spitting a lot of stupid stuff and hate stuff that they can't say anything that's right either, right? I'm not the type of person to turn you off immediately. Like, I can't stand Stephen A. Smith whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I can't deny that every now and then he actually will say something that is legit.
Yep.
Right.
Agreed.
I'm not that person just to turn somebody off because I know they always spitting stupid stuff. And that's what Spot Scott does. But I ain't gonna lie, I listen to him anyway. Him and Han. But you and I agree to a point on this one. And you just made a great point about you couldn't put somebody in as a superstar and take them out the next year. You know, that's where it gets kind of tricky. Now, we agree on Burrow. But when we get to, we agree on Mahomes. But when we get to Joe Burrow, I personally think that after these past 2 seasons, he has the right to be called a superstar. I do. You said that you can't take one season, like we're talking about with Jalen Hurts, which is true because you go back and look at last season, it wasn't as great. And there was even a time coming into the season when people were wondering we're talking about you guys making the move at quarterback last year, and then until he started to play. But Joe Burrow, I think he's done enough to this point. He's made it to a Super Bowl. He's made it to an AFC Championship game. Worked wonders behind a makeshift offensive line all season and put up stats. He's got the comebacks for the last 2 years. I think that he is a superstar at this point in today's football league. Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen is too. And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this. And all I'm saying is the recency stuff because everybody's talking about the turnovers, right? And that's fair and valid, right? Fair and valid. By the same token, this man already owns several playoff records. Yeah, no, he hasn't made it to a Super Bowl. And I know a lot of people's end all be all is, well, how many rings have we won? I'm tired of that argument too, because I don't think that's an end all be all, right? With anybody in any sport, right? But this guy owns several playoff records as it is. He's 500 in the playoffs, but he's played 8 games in his short career. He's posted the highest AFC championship quarterback rating that we've ever seen. He did that, in 21. So to me, I do believe that, in my personal opinion, that both Joe Burrow and Josh Allen, ring or not, are both superstars. It's no shame to not be able to get past Joe Burrow or Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm not buying it. And if I can't say, I'm just the extreme, but if I can't say, yeah, so Tom Brady, I said Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger, and Josh Allen. One of these things is not like the other. And I definitely ain't saying Joe Burrow after that. One of these things is not like the other. I think we throw out that superstar too often, too early, and that's when we end up looking at Harold Minas. Harold Minas. I just wanted to throw Harold Minas out there because we had Jordan Day the other day. So.
No, so and I agree with you. We do throw it out too much, but personally, I'm putting those two with Mahomes as superstars in this league. Now, the third one, we know the answer to this. And the reason I bring up this person is because when the conversation came up, even though Bart Scott did not mention Dak Prescott, right? There were a lot of things popping up across social media where people were talking about trying to compare Dak's numbers in certain instances to Josh Allen, right? And for the life of me, I cannot understand why anybody would think that Dak Prescott is a superstar. He's a star. He's a star. Good and the bad, he's a star. He's not a superstar. So I already know you agree with me on that. But what are your overall opinions on Dak Prescott, man? Just be honest.
He wears a star.
That ain't an opinion. That's a fact.
Every time we see him, he has on a star. Correct. That is, I agree on that. Dak's okay. Dak's a good quarterback. Generally speaking, he's a good quarterback. And he will give you crazy numbers if you give him crazy opportunities. Unfortunately, things went left this season. Dak had a bad season. It was a bad season, right? Would you consider it a bad season for Dak? Numbers wrong? Yeah, it was a bad season. But Dak's numbers don't usually look like this, right? The same way I'm going, and I'm not putting them in the same vein at all, but the same way I said Russell Wilson can come back and have, be himself again, as opposed to thinking that what we saw this season is who Russell Wilson is suddenly. Mm-hmm. I think that Dak can come back next season, have a better season personally, and be whatever people thought he was before the season. Whether that's great or good or whatever the case.
No, don't say that. People, Some of my own people said that man was Mahomes. I'm
That's
seeing
different.
Mahomes numbers compared, bro. No.
That's different. See, we have logical and then we have delusional, and you can't help delusion. You can't help delusion.
This is my thing, though. Why help me understand, though? Honestly, why did it take this year for people to try to really understand what I've been telling you for the past couple of seasons? I've been saying it right here on this here show that he, to this point, is not the guy that they think he is. And this is no shade. That's my quarterback. Man, if this man, bro, you understand how I would act if this man come out and we win a Super Bowl with him playing quarterback. You just don't understand. But I said this. I've been saying this for the last couple of years. Just because a lot of those interceptions that he threw this year weren't getting caught, right, before this season. I've watched this man the past couple of seasons consistently, even with Amari Cooper there, throw into double coverage, not read well at all. These feet, he doesn't plant his feet well. There's somebody wide open. As we go back and see even here recently in the whole T.Y. Hilton situation in his Niners game. He was doing this before this year. A lot of those interceptions were not getting caught. Now everything catches up to him. But now you got more people saying now that he's trash now, or he's not this. I got a few people that are mad up and said, Prime, you're right. But at the end of the day, I just don't understand why it's taking people this long, even non-Cowboy fans, because there's non-Cowboy fans who think we've been too hard on Dak before this year. I don't know what y'all said. I like it. This, that, and the third. And now it took for this particular season for people to see what I've been saying. Maybe we just watching the game through different binoculars, I guess. I don't know.
Hey, Keys, you remember when we were on SBP? It wasn't even SBP Live. Were we on SBP Live? Radio show. I think we were doing a radio show. And Romo got hurt in that preseason game. Do you remember that moment? You remember? I know you remember. Do you remember that moment, Keys? Even at that time, Prime was not the biggest Dak guy. Even through that season, he's never been. I mean, I can tell you, he's never been a Dak. Like, Dak is my guy, as in quarterbacking skill, and I trust this guy, wholeheartedly believe in him and leading us to a championship. He's never said that. Never been that guy to Prime. He said that's my guy because he's the Cowboys quarterback, and he's a good quarterback. Seems like a nice guy. That's his guy to that level. So I'm with Prime on that. He said that since the very beginning. Yeah. But the question somebody asked me, because I said, yeah, Dak's decent. Dak puts up numbers. I know he gets a lot of opportunities for whatever reason. I don't know why he's throwing the ball 50 times, which I've said a million times. I don't know why he's throwing the ball 50 times. But, yeah, Dak, yeah, okay, Dak, fine. Somebody said, would you want him as your quarterback? And that is the question right there. If you are not a Cowboys fan, would you want him as I don't care who your quarterback is. You know the level of quarterbacking that's in the league. Would you want Dak as your quarterback? Answer that question. That's it right there.
I bet you the answer was different before 2 weeks ago. For a lot of people.
My answer has always been no. So, yeah.
Yeah, man, look. My biggest problem for the Dak apologist is that they don't understand that everything has to be perfect, right? Everything has to be perfect for Dak to succeed, and that's my problem. When we want to put him on a higher pedestal than he should be on, right? You can throw all these stats and these numbers, how he passed this, he broke this, he passed Tony Romo and this, the whole 9 yards. But at the end of the day, what matters, them numbers don't help you if you can't perform in the big games. And I'm not talking about big games during the season, like, beating a Eagles squad or whoever. I'm talking about in the playoffs. We can go back to last year and the his mishaps in the Niners game last year when we got put out in the wild card game. This is all I'm saying. This is all I'm saying. At some point or another, if the Cowboys are going to win this with Dak Prescott, he is actually going to finally become the guy, right? Finally become that guy. Something's going to have to unlock a secret code or a key, and he becomes that guy. Or he's going to at least have to play well enough that he's not the reason that they lost the game. Because in the Niners game, they played well enough to win that game in every other aspect, right? And we can throw in, and people are talking about, yeah, but he's not the reason they lost the game, the special team and Diggs. Yeah, those were pivotal parts in the game. Those were pivotal parts in the game. But they still played well enough to win. And Dak did not get it done. It's just that simple. You people need to stop. This is no hate from me. That's my quarterback for at least another year or two. And we'll see how this thing shakes out. I love the guy. I just wish he allows us to love his play the way we love him as a person. That's all I'm saying. He is not the guy, or hasn't been the guy yet. And all I'm going to say is I don't want these people to jump up. Say the Cowboys, let's just say, and I know y'all going to be like, start laughing. Let's say the Cowboys go to the Super Bowl next year, right? They go to the Super Bowl. There's going to be those people source that's going to be like, well, I told you he was a guy all the time. No, he's not. Either he just became that guy this year, or everything just fell into place. Stop making excuses. You're making us look bad, people.
Two things. One, your cousin's comment in the chat. Two, who is the last quarterback that became that guy?
The last quarterback that became that guy?
Yeah.
What are you talking about in
you said Dak would have to become that guy. Who was the last quarterback that became that guy?
In Dallas?
Ever.
Oh, you got one of the guys playing next week. Again. You talking about became that guy?
Hersey wasn't around long enough to not be that guy. He just.
What do you mean by that guy? I was talking about the other guy.
Oh, Mahomes?
Yeah.
You said he became that guy?
Remember, he didn't start immediately when he came in.
Right. I mean,
I knew he was that guy. Y'all just only me and Clark knew. That's it. Me and Clark knew. Y'all ain't know.
I don't know if he became that. Like, it wasn't like he was. We saw him be something for a couple years, and then all of a sudden he elevated to a status. Like, who did that? Who was the last person that you could think of that did that? Because I don't think that's really. I don't know that becoming that guy is necessarily a thing. I don't know.
You become that guy that's not throwing interceptions when people wide open.
There's that. Okay, there's that. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to think of somebody that became that guy.
Hey, come on, man. Jay,
Matthew Stafford was always the same guy.
It's gonna be okay, huh?
Matthew Stafford was always the same guy.
That's a good example, though. That's a good example because you remember people were saying everything they would say about Matthew Stafford. It's not quite the same. He never really became that guy, but he's an example of how. Yeah, but he is an example of how you could win a Super Bowl without you being that guy. You see what I'm saying? You know, and that's how I kind of felt like he let Dallas down this year. Everything else was stacked. I can understand that losing Amari Cooper hurt. I can understand a lot of stuff. I can put a lot of stuff on Jerry. But you still could have won that game a couple of weeks ago or had a better shot than what you gave yourself. That's all I'm saying.
I'm with you, Clark. I'm with you on that. I'm with you. I'm just trying to think of like who was not that guy and became that guy. That's all I'm trying to think of. Who was a quarterback? In the comments, please. Who was a quarterback that was not that guy and became that guy?
No, you ain't
think of one. Right. I'm just trying to think of one. That's all. And I don't mean
I argue with you because you know how I feel about it.
I'm not just saying like they matured. I'm not saying they matured, and made less mistakes as they matured. I'm talking about not that guy to that guy. Please tell me who it is because I can't think of anybody.
In Dak's case, though, which is funny, well, I can't speak because we don't know what would have happened in the NFC Championship, right? So I'll just say that. But let's just say in that particular game against the Niners, which is funny, right?
Uh-huh.
Source, we don't know. Stop it. But what I'm saying,
So, it's keys, man. It's keys, man.
hey man, he's still throwing up this. He's still butthurt about Kirk Cousins.
That's
Kirk
what we're talking
did
about.
wrong. I know. I done seen 3 Kirk Cousins. We ain't said nothing about Kirk Cousins this whole show.
Yeah,
He's throwing up some Kirk Cousins stuff. But no. But what I'm saying is, for Dak, it might not even be to be that guy to turn into a superstar. He just might need to be that guy to stop doing what he did this season when he came back. I'm gonna leave it at that. And we'll see. I mean, he got a new offensive coordinator now. He got his boy, his coach. Well, he's got a new play caller and a new offensive coordinator. So his coach is going to call the plays. Don't 100% know how I feel about it. A lot of people ask me that. And they've elevated Schottenheimer to the OC, right? So my one thing, though, is it can't be any worse than what we got from Kellen Moore. And I was talking to my guy Randall, and I talked to a couple of other people, and they were showing the numbers in the Cowboys offense under Kellen Moore. It's like, I don't think Kellen Moore is that bad. Me personally, I just don't think he was good for us. Far as I know, he might go do something with the Chargers or wherever else he ends up after that, maybe if he gets another shot. But when you find a OC who's not able to adapt or help put your quarterback, in some positions, what your quarterback can and can't do. Dak has issues. All right. You change some things up. Everything can't be a curl route. Everything can't be a high post. You see what I'm saying? So, that's my 2 cents on Kellen Moore going over there. Now, will McCarthy end up being the same type of coach? He said they're going to run a version of the West Coast. I don't know if that's Dak's offense or not, but we're going to find out. But it is what it is. Still would have rather had Bieniemy over there. So, next up for you, though. Let me see what this comment said. There it is. There it is. That's why we only gave Kellen Moore a hot 10 seconds of conversation on that. About to get 21 killed. The man already got other things he got to worry about, like a job. Let's go to this right here. And I don't know if you had a chance to assemble it or not. Who we're talking about? We're going to talk about all-time teams, bro. All-time teams.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, that's right.
You can do it on the fly. Your Philadelphia Eagles. You had to pick a quarterback, a running back, and 3 receivers. It's your all-time team.
You know what, Prime? You asked me this question earlier this week, and I did not dig into it at all. So I'm going with Sid Luckman. No, Donovan McNabb. I'm taking Donovan McNabb. Give me Donovan McNabb. I'm trying to go off the top of my head. Wilbur Montgomery, Brian Westbrook.
You get 1 running back.
Oh, I thought it was 3 running backs.
You get 1 running back and 3 receivers.
My bad. In that case, I'm gonna take Deuce Staley. I'm gonna take Deuce Staley in this moment.
Okay.
Harold Carmichael.
Yeah.
Do I get Chris Carter as he became Chris Carter? No.
Get him any way you want. Any way you want.
For a short term, T.O.
Okay. I like it. So we got 1 more receiver.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Chris Carter.
Interesting. I love it. And the reason I bring this up, I had something on my page and I took it down. I reading some of the comments, right? And I took it down because I didn't want to sway anybody one way or the other. But the comments were interesting. And what started this was Gridiron through Bleacher Report with Dez Bryant reacting to a Cowboys list, right? And I know you're going to say Cowboys again, but you will get where I'm going with this in a second. Based on what you know or care to know about the Dallas Cowboys, would you think this is a fair list?
Yes.
Thank you. And so it's a couple of people in here that are listening now that commented. What do you think was the first question and rebuttal was on here?
Where's Troy Aikman?
No, somebody did mention Troy, which I think is fair. I didn't argue that. Huh?
Why would Dez.
I don't know why they would question that. Somebody did, actually, but
my last guess is Jason Witten.
No, so it wasn't so much about who's on this list, it's about somebody who's not on this list. Meaning somebody would have to come off.
Who? Jay Novacek? What are we doing? I'm afraid of what you're about to say.
So when you talk about all-time teams, some people get in their mind off top where it all started, just because this was the original that. The person was Drew Pearson, right? And I'm like, understand something. There's no way, no how that Drew Pearson should be on this list. And take this from a guy who loves Drew Pearson. All right? I own a blue, a white, and a Thanksgiving type jersey. I love Drew Pearson. I think what people missed when they saw this, it says weapons. There is no way, no how, that you're going to tell me that Drew Pearson was better as a Cowboy than any of these three guys on this list. Understand. Now, we're talking, but he's a Cowboy. And this, that, and the third, he's the original 88. I respect. You can't tell me that none of these three guys on this list couldn't have dominated back then either. You couldn't tell me. So don't give me the different era stuff, right? Michael Irvin they were still playing physical football, and Michael Irvin was bullying people, right? They were still playing ball. Dez Bryant. Anybody who says Dez Bryant shouldn't be on this list obviously doesn't watch football. Do you understand? Regardless of the last couple of seasons in Dallas, this man is the leading touchdown guy when it comes to receptions in Dallas Cowboy history. Then that leaves T.O. You mentioned T.O. with Philly. Philly didn't draft T.O., right?
Correct.
Dallas
nor did Dallas.
Huh?
I said nor did Dallas.
Nor did Dallas. Can anybody tell me that T.O. wasn't downright dominant in his Cowboy years too? You can't. It says weapons, bro. It says weapons. All right. If you want to pick an all-time team, and we're just talking about who are your all-time guys, and just you're talking about your favorites or who means the most to the Cowboys, okay, I might get it. It says weapons. You're not telling me. Understand something. Michael Irvin, Hall of Famer. Even through all the politics, Hall of Famer. Will Dez get there? I don't know, but he owns a Cowboy record, right? When he's touching the end zone. And there was a time period, say what you say, one about Dez. Dez was money in that red zone. Nobody wanted a piece of him in the red zone. Double coverage didn't matter. And T.O. is T.O. We all know T.O. was really a first ballot Hall of Famer. We understand that. And it wasn't the fact that it's just his name source.
Right.
Because if you're I can put a Hall of Fame name on something, but if you didn't do work with that franchise, and I might not include you on that list. T.O. did work.
He did.
With the Dallas Cowboys. You understand? So this is it. I had a conversation with one of our guys too, one of our favorite guys in the group. And we were talking about, I would say it was the same thing with the Raiders. And I said, that's almost like putting Jerry Rice in the Raiders conversation. You would have to put him in that conversation if we're talking three, because the only one undeniable name on there is Tim Brown. Once you get past Tim Brown, you can go Cliff Branch or Fred Biletnikoff. Most would probably go Cliff Branch. What do you remember after that? Jerry Rice, even in the late stage of his career, put up, was he there 4 seasons, I think? I know he got hurt that last season. But he had 2 1,000-yard seasons. One of them was 1,100 yards, I'm sorry. One was 1,200 yards, and he made it to a Super Bowl. And he was playing at a high level. He would definitely have to be in that conversation when you're talking about the Raiders. You know what I'm saying?
I get it. I get that.
He wasn't drafted there. But if we're talking about weapons, the best to line up ever and did work with a franchise, you have to put Jerry Rice in the Raiders conversation. I wish Cliff was on here.
He'd love it.
Yeah. And that's all I'm saying. So, this just kind of came to me, and I said, you know what, I'm going to take it down and put it on the show. Because I think people, and I respect everybody's opinion, but they are not getting it. You can't tell me, if you want to put Troy Aikman on the Cowboys list, okay, I get it. There's merit to it. Say what you want to about Troy and what he had. That was an accurate dude. I don't care who he had, he was throwing the ball. And he got 3 rings. Say what you want. You're not going to argue me about the receivers, though, because you're not going to tell me there was a better receiving core that you could put together better than this one. I saw the Tony Dorsett, which is my guy, 12,000 yards. And you can say what you want. I mean, Emmett does hold a record. You know what I'm saying? Emmett got 3 rings. But I'm not going to ever say nothing bad about Tony Dorsett. And I think there's no way you can put anybody over Jason Witten.
I wouldn't mind seeing this in the SBP for different teams, actually.
I should put together something.
It ain't even got to be for your team personally. It can be for whatever team. That's just an interesting conversation. Yeah,
I'm finding a way to get that up there. That's an interesting conversation. I tell you one thing that did surprise me, though, looking at you guys' stats, I did not know. Well, one, you didn't running back. I was kind of shocked you didn't go with LaShawn McCoy, franchise all-time leading rusher, right?
Yeah, I would have never gotten to LaShawn McCoy, but go ahead.
I didn't realize you guys don't even have, which is quite a few teams that don't even have a 10,000-yard rusher in history. I would have never believed
that. Well, that's like it's a running back carousel, though. It's not like anybody's there really for 7, 8 years or more.
Yeah, but it's more of a carousel now than it was, years ago.
Even then.
Well, no, you go back to.
You say LaShawn McCoy, okay, but you had Westbrook for a few years. You had Staley for a few years. You had Ricky Waters for a few years. You had, I don't know how long Wilbur Montgomery was there, so that's a big, time change, because that's the 80s, 70s into 80s. Yeah, what back was really there for a long time like that.
That's true. Andre says that T.O. played a total of 21 games. And he balled out, though, is my thing. And he went to the Super Bowl performance. What was it? Broke a foot? It was crazy.
Broken right side of his body out there doing work. Yeah. I mean, I hear that. And I'm still sticking with T.O.
And look, Andre asked this, and understand what I'm saying, my brother. And he says, is he going to make Buffalo and Cincy's all-time list too? What Source and I were talking about in this convo was, if not just because you were on a team, did you ball out while you were on that team? It's my thing. You see what I'm saying? I'm never going to go back, and this will go over a lot of people's heads and say, like, I don't know, Tony Dorsett should be, on the Broncos, or either Emmett should be on Arizona. I'm talking about what they did while they were there. You see what I'm saying? Not just the name, my brother. When they got to that franchise, did they ball out? And I think everybody we've named had balled out while they were with that franchise. You know, anybody that doubt that Jerry Rice ain't balled out in a couple of years and even went to a Super Bowl with the Raiders, y'all need to go back and look it up. I'm not putting him on this because he's the GOAT. He did work, bro. He did. Last thing I'm going to have on this. I'm anxious to see what people would feel about if we're putting Randy Moss in New England. Randy Moss balled out. They ain't win that ring. But him and Brady was down there for a minute. So if you're talking about weapons, notice it said all-time weapons. I'm trying to figure out who y'all got receiver-wise, not tight end, receiver-wise, that you could come up with 3 and he doesn't make that list if we're talking about all-time weapons. I wouldn't care if he played 16 games. That's all I'm saying. All right, so interesting conversation. We'll get something popped on the page, though, about different teams, and we'll try to go from there and see what people think. It should get interesting. Should get really interesting on there. Next up, man, let's talk, enough football, man. Let's talk some hoops. I've got a couple of things we're going to talk about before we get out of this thing. And there was no bigger news, none whatsoever, than the news that popped up a couple of days ago. Mm-hmm. And we saw, once again, this dude here is asking to be traded, and he wants it done before Thursday's 3 p.m. deadline. And I just saw some news before we came on here that said the Nets are actually benching him until they can figure this out. So maybe it gets done. But what was your thoughts on Kyrie going up out of Brooklyn?
Yeah, that came out of nowhere. But then after I thought about it for a while, like for a day, I was like, I'm not mad at him.
Oh.
I'm not mad at him. If you are Kyrie, like everybody wants to think about it as themselves or look at the team. Oh, the team's doing so good, blah, blah, blah. And I think, who was it? Emmanuel Iko, maybe, pointed out that Brooklyn is 20-4 this season with Kyrie and KD. Mm-hmm. And that's the best 24-game span that the franchise has ever had in history.
Right.
And Kyrie has 1 season left on his contract. What better time is it to put the pressure on the organization than right now? I heard him say that. And I was like, okay, I get that. But if I am thinking of it as Kyrie Irving, who said, I don't want to get the shot, and was treated how he was treated by the organization, who said or who made a post on Instagram or Twitter or wherever it was, and it turned into this same organization saying, well, you got to pay $500,000 to these people and you need to do a public apology, this, that, and the third. What loyalty would I have? First of all, loyalty in sports is stupid. But what loyalty on top of that would I have to those people as Kyrie Irving? People are like, oh, well, Kyrie Irving's always a problem. True. I don't even personally love Kyrie Irving. Like, from the boat party to talking about LeBron after the fact, after they won a championship, to going to Boston and then being like, oh, well, I see what LeBron had to go through, and not really being beneficial to Boston, to going to Brooklyn. At no point in that time have I ever really liked Kyrie. He's a great basketball player. He gets busy, got the handles, finishes at the rim, can shoot, all that. Even back to challenging Kobe. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. My point is, people look at it like, I don't think he should do that because of these reasons. And there are a number of reasons that if you are Kyrie Irving, you might do this. Especially the one where this is a business and this is my best business opportunity. I'm not mad at that. If I am KD, maybe, or the organization, heated because we're finally good. We thought this was what it was going to be out the gate. And then one of y'all was hurt, then the other one was hurt, and then all this other stuff happened, and we've never been what we thought we were going to be. Now look at us now. We're doing this and that, and now you want to do this? Yeah, but that's looking at it from the man's side. I'm looking at it from Kyrie's side, and I ain't mad at him. If that's what he want to do, feel free.
Bobby, what's good? Good morning, my brother. Keys, he not going to the Bulls. Keys been hollering
Bulls. To the Bulls.
1 second after it was announced.
Exactly.
Keys, Bulls. Keys and had the trade package, everything together. Like,
yep. He checked flight plans, everything. Got everybody moved.
That's crazy. And it's funny you talked about the organization. I'm just trying to figure, if you're a team, how do you really feel about this? Say he gets traded, him agreeing to stay with you, like, get a new contract done. Because we got to go back. We got a little bit of history. You remember there was the whole Cleveland thing when the kid asking him, are you gonna leave us the way LeBron did? The man said, "No, I'm here to stay." You had the whole Boston situation when he sit there and told the crowd that he's looking forward to sign an extension and he gonna stay there. That fell apart. And then even more recently, remember him saying, "No, I can't leave my man's number 7 out." You know what I'm saying? And now he obviously wants to go. This is crazy. I just don't know how I would feel about him if I'm another team. Now, your Lakers, of course, are coming up a lot. There was the Mavericks in the mix. There was the Suns in the mix. And as of last night, the Clippers have become supposedly very strong contenders in this mix. And there's all types.
I'm sorry, what? The Clippers?
Yeah, the Clippers. The Clippers came through, reported by several reputable sources, that the Clippers may be actually trying to put something together to get him. And they might be looking to do some things. They said they could even if it meant them buying out John Wall.
Can you imagine Kyrie Irving with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George? That sounds like a disaster waiting to happen. But anyway, go on.
Yeah, so remember in the SBP, I put the poll up and I asked where was he going. 58% of the group members saying it would be next was actually he's not traded, which was at 30%. A lot of people feel like they're not going to be able to trade him, or it's too late in the process. Being that we basically when he made the comment, we're about a week away from the NBA trade deadline. So this is going to be interesting to watch. But I just don't know how I feel about it. I mean, they say where Brooklyn at. I don't think they even know. You know what I'm saying? Like, is Brooklyn in the house? I don't think they even know. Because now they're saying that teams are, after this comment, teams are actually gauging to see what the feelings of Durant are now. And could they possibly make a move for him?
Now that would be a stretch. That would be a stretch. That would be a stretch. That would be a league changer. That would be a league changer. But man, Kyrie better not go to the Clippers. They're still gonna lose in the second round. They're gonna be still going out in the second round. But it would be interesting to see him in Dallas, though. Because it's no different than what it is in Brooklyn. People saying that Luka needs the ball too much. I'm like, KD be dribbling that, Joe. Like, what was it? Ain't no difference.
Indeed, that'll be fire. That would be fire. Staying in the basketball world, though. NBA All-Star teams were, they were talked about, they were put out. And we're not going to go through the whole deal about who made it, but there were some notable snubs, guys who didn't make it. And these were the guys that were most talked about in the East and the West. If you had to pick somebody from the East, who would it be? The biggest snub?
Gordon Hayward.
Come on, bro.
Okay. I thought Brunson would be in. I thought Brunson would be in early on. I thought he was, easily going to be in that joint. But I did hear someone point out the fact that we need another 3 spots on that squad, 2 to 3
Word
spots
up.
on that squad.
Yep.
Because what can you do? It's too much greatness to be confined to that number of players. Was it 12? It's 12, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's too much greatness to be confined to 12 players on a squad in a conference. It's too much.
Indeed. I agree. And I mean, it ain't like the NBA ain't got the money to send the people out there. Okay. So
Right.
it should definitely, this is an event it's for the fans. We put it on every year. It's for the fans. People want to, I know it's not going to fix everything. I know some people will be like, well, it's just like college football and we're talking about expanding teams in the playoffs. There's always going to be somebody left out, right? But still, you're giving the fans, more of a chance to see their people, get to a place they deserve to be at. The SBP agreed with you too, and agree with myself. Brunson was at 58%. Then it was a steep drop. They kind of leveled out. Next up was Trae Young at 12. So they kind of sprinkled through some people. And I think they may have added 1 or 2 people, and I don't remember who they were. But Brunson, at 58%, most people agree with both you and I. When you get to the Western Conference, on that, De'Aaron Fox,
Absolutely.
which is also my pick, was the pick of the everybody in the group. He came through with 67%. Then it drops all the way down to 19%. Next up was Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, I definitely picked De'Aaron Fox. He was supposed to be in. I just felt like it was hard for them to put two Kings in there, even though the Kings are what, 3rd or 4th? They're 3rd or 4th in the West.
Okay.
But I feel like just historically, it was difficult for the voters to put 2 Sacramento Kings in the All-Star game.
Indeed, I agree. And we got that popping off with next week, the week after next, right? So,
yeah, we got next.
We got the next Super Bowl next week, and it's the week after the Super Bowl. One thing I wanted to ask you though, before we get off of this subject and get to our last subject, is so the format now about them picking players just before the game, like pickup game, right? First of all, I love it. Most people love this. The NBA, I was looking at some of the tweets through some of the NBA players and some of the WNBA players. They actually love this. So I'm thinking how they're going to do this as far as the jerseys. You think the jerseys are going to be like double-sided?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I figured they just make more jerseys.
Just make more. Yeah, that makes sense too. And you can always get rid of those jerseys. That's a good point though. I didn't know. I was thinking that maybe they were going to be double-sided.
I like the double-sided. They break out the double-sided mesh joints.
Fire.
Wow. That would be sweet.
Those joints are going to be fire. So I know a lot of y'all don't care about the All-Star game, but last couple of years, especially last year, it got to be really entertaining. The actual All-Star game was really entertaining.
But before we get to the game, let's think about this thing. So last year, we had KD and LeBron on TNT choosing,
right?
And they were trying to force KD to pick Harden.
Yeah.
So Harden is not in it this year. But What if there is any type of rift between players in the moment, like boiling over and then being in the moment, and one of the players has to pick between the player he doesn't like and somebody else, and they just keep pushing him down. And also, what if you're the last person? What if you're the last person? Last 2, matter of fact, the last 2 people to get picked. Unless you're a young guy, you're probably going to take it personally. You're probably going to take it personally. It's going to be funny. It might be funny.
I would say in most cases, yeah. I think certain players, though, you just got to realize who you there with. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Julius Randle. Like, Julius Randle is having one hell of a season, balling out. But I think, he does realize I'm not, man, I ain't KD.
You think that Julius Randle realizes he's not KD? I mean, maybe not KD. Let's not say KD. Let's go a little lower level to KD. Like, you telling me Julius Randle doesn't think that he's Bradley Beal?
I don't know.
Man, ain't no way. Ain't no way. whoever it is that's last, if they're not young or a first-time All-Star, they are going to be pissed. They are going to be pissed. I don't care. I'm looking forward to it. Dog, I've been in. You ever been at the court?
You got to get in there and win the MVP.
You ever been at the court and been picked last?
Oh yeah.
You look around the people side. You like, hold on, dog. Why am I still standing here?
Y'all know I can shoot.
Hey, what? This joke will be funny. This joke will be funny.
That joy would be crazy. Let's see. A couple of people in here. Yep, there was some talk about Siakam as well. Siakam out here balling.
Siakam balling, but he's always balling.
Yeah,
he was in and out of the lineup early though, and he hasn't necessarily been the dude the whole time, right? Scotty Barnes balled, like different people have balled out in the season. Fox, that don't make no sense that Fox.
Pressure. And Key says he thinks Sabonis got snubbed. He been all right though. I don't know if I'm putting him in over anybody else. Even if I had 3.
Dog.
I don't know if I'm putting him in over anybody else on this snub, but Sabonis been balling.
Oh, wait, who is on the West squad? Let's back up.
The West squad?
Do you have a list? That's a random question to ask at this moment.
We can get it real quick. Let's see.
Western Conference All-Stars.
There we go.
You got it.
Yeah. We got Bron, Jokic, Steph, Luka, Zion. Oh, hold on. Is he actually gonna play? That's the thing to watch too. He's been out. He's been out with injury. I don't have a list.
Get up.
Oh, Shai Gilgeous, Alexander, Dame, Paul George, Laurie Markkinen, Jaren Jackson. Oh no, Sabonis is on here.
Yes.
I don't know how I missed it. I don't know how I missed it. Yeah, I don't know how
you said it. I was like, am I tripping? I know Sabonis is on the squad. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I don't know how I missed that one. And pulling this list up, since we didn't have it up, I had also forgot about Jaren Jackson.
Yeah, that's a tough one right there. That's tough.
I had forgotten about that. And I guess the one thing from the East, though, we're not talking about snubs, which is crazy. In general, that Embiid is a reserve.
Well, see, I don't count the fan vote as being a snub, because you can't trust fans.
Oh no,
can't trust fans. So when somebody's not voted to start, I'm like, it's the fans. Like, can't trust them.
And Embiid been letting y'all know too, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Problem.
Dog, what would you have said if De'Aaron Fox was on there and Lillard was not? I would have been okay with it. It probably would have. I mean, you still can argue. Somebody would probably argue marketing. Probably. Who do you think is the least worthy? Not that they're not worthy, but the least worthy All-Star from each conference. Yeah, if you had to take one person off of each list, East and West, who would you take off?
All right, so we're in the West right now. If I would say least worthy, let me look at this list real quick. It'd be hard to take Paul George off of that. Mate, in the West, to maybe Jaren Jackson.
Because he got the 5. He got the 5. What? How many 5 block games he got? Like 5. He got like 5 block. How you get 5 blocks in multiple games?
Between him and Markkinen, maybe. That's tough.
Markkinen is tough, though. I've been waiting for Markkinen to get some shine, to get some consistent play for.
Yeah, I guess Key's gonna start crapping on him too, because he ain't do that in Chicago.
Here's the thing. He did. It was just every once in a while.
All right. If I get to the East,
I think the East is. I mean, it's got for me. It's got to be Drew Holiday. It's got to be Drew Holiday.
Yeah, I would agree. I would definitely agree. That's a tough list, though.
Yeah,
that is a tough list. Let's switch over to our last topic, man. And in our last topic, of course, we're sticking with basketball. But I do want to say, bro, that Alicia Keys said that New York, the concrete jungle where dreams are made of, there's nothing you can't do. And that's what Stewart was thinking. Breanna Stewart headed over to New York to the Liberty. Will be the first topic of conversation. Do you love this or what?
Prime. I'm excited, bro. I'm excited. And the best part, for me, the best part is so many people have been talking about this. Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of people that I didn't even know followed the WNBA talking about these moves that have been made between these two. I love it. And I'm excited about the season. Here's what I've been meaning to make a video. I didn't do it though. I probably won't do it. But to me, this is a moment in the WNBA where they are taking the NBA approach, meaning best team in the East is in a big city. Best team in the West is in a big city. It is very Boston, LA of this thing. It is very, very Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, even though that was from the draft, but still, same concept. Power in the East, power in the West, and thinking that if this doesn't get the people going, nothing will.
It's crazy, man. Like KD watching the recruitment process, which is crazy. I'm like, well, the NBA is funding the WNBA. Can you get jacked up for tampering? I mean, can this happen? Could they slap a tampering tag on him? But no, KD went hard on it. He, it's like you need to come here. Could you imagine this? Could you imagine what it would be like? The spotlight, two teams, this, that, and the third. Now, KD's situation could be in the air, but I think it's a great move for her, man. She comes in. A lot of the businesses she deals with, the sponsors are right there. Puma's in New York. And she comes to a team which is the last of the original WNBA teams to never win a title. Right? So there's hope. What they played in, I believe, four title games. Got beat by Houston 3 times, and then the Sparks once, I believe, if I'm correct. But it's been a minute since they've been like really, really good. I mean, go back to about 2017. I think Lambert was coaching them. They did finish first in the East. But this team that they put together now, like right now, and you bring in Vandersloot, this is crazy. Like this is a problem for the league. Period. Like they may go from being not so good to the favorite, and they're actually going to be one of the favorites. And if we don't get them, and of course the defending champions, in a title game fully healthy this year, it's going to be something like it's going to be bad. I know Ricky Chavis was in the group talking about he don't know about them building super teams, and he don't know if that's a good idea. I don't know if it's a good idea or not, but I like what I'm seeing at least this year, right? But they are going to be a problem. I'm anxious to see how they go about handling this basketball. Vandersloot there now, with Sabrina. They bringing the ball up the court. I'm anxious to see how that's going to get handled. I'm anxious to see what they do with this starting lineup. Because as we see on the screen now, is that what they're going to go with for starters? Which it seems like that would be it. But then there's always the issue. So you're going to move. So I guess Dawson would definitely be on the bench, and Jones would be in the center.
Jones is definitely starting at center.
Yeah,
Jones
she's
is
going to start at center.
definitely starting at
Let's
center.
not understate that either. You know how I feel about her. Straight crazy. You got
Yeah.
nothing but, all WNBA players, pretty much.
Dog. This right here, they should just play this 20 times.
Yeah.
This is crazy. Like, even if you just look at, well, first of all, you said moving Ionescu off the ball and bringing Vandersloot. You got to think that they moved Plum off the ball. They kind of moved Plum off the ball when they let Jack take the kind of run the show a little bit. But after that, they brought in Chelsea, and Chelsea, is the point guard. So what else she gonna do? But Plum actually, flourished in that role, like, because she can get her bucket anytime she wants to anyway. So she flourished in her role. Even when she was coming off the bench before, she still flourished. Ionescu can do the same thing, I think. I think she can do the same thing. But
she showed some good range last year.
Yeah. Look at the matchup. Just of this picture, you got, so you say, Chelsea against Vandersloot.
Mm-hmm.
You say Plum against Ionescu. You got Jackie against Laney. Asia. I want to say Asia. I'll say Candace against Breanna. And then Asia against John Coyle. What kind of foolish? This is crazy, yo. This is crazy. I love this.
An embarrassment of riches for Sandy Rondello, in New York, of course, getting all of that. And you mentioned, Laney. She's gonna be like the ultimate. I guess we're gonna have to call her a role player, but she does so much. I think she fits in really well with this group because you have 4 other ladies that on any given night could be their night.
Yep.
You just gonna go ahead and just do your thing, meekly get your 8 to 10, whatever.
Yeah.
Defend it and just play. I love this. But Candace, who made the move first, signing with the Vegas Aces, the defending champion. I don't want to disrespect them. Las Vegas Aces is crazy to me. It's crazy to me. Now, I love all her reasoning, the family thing, watching her daughter be entering high school soon. She says like it could be a 30-minute flight if she need to make it to any games or anything like that. I am loving this for her. But looking at this lineup, to me, it's just filthy because she's coming in, reunited with the point guard. I think Raquana Williams is on that squad too. She's coming in with people that she knows, right? It's going to be interesting to see how a team that just won their first title, and still some youth there with those veterans, will take to her leadership and her style. But the beautiful thing I have in a Chelsea Gray there and a Raquana Williams, you know what I'm saying? If there's any type of friction or any type of a gap that needs to be merged, they're going to be able to do that with Candace Parker. And she gets to go to a place that she doesn't have to be the girl. That's what's so lovely. She can mess around, pick her spots. Candace going to play hard. Candace leaves it all out there on both ends of the court. But if it ends up being a few nights where she's sitting there and she don't get but 12 or 13, everything else is going to be necessary that she does. And then she can come back and have that night. You know what I'm saying? When she busts you for 20, 20 and 10, 3 blocks, whatever. This is crazy. We've got to have these two teams meet each other in the finals. We just have to.
100%.
I can't wait to see it, man. And the bad part about, I'm looking at the rest of the league, and you never know. Rick even said we got to see how this stuff plays out, but it's a lot of questions out there because if you look at the rest of these groups, there's a drop-off, right? You think about poor Seattle now, what they going to do? Are they even going to try to make a move? Poor Jewel over there by herself. You know what I'm saying? For the most part.
Yeah.
Go there, try to get her some help. LA's made a few moves. You look at Phoenix. Phoenix still hanging in the balance now because they haven't signed Breanna yet, who says she's going to play there. Taurasi is not signed yet, right? And then you got the issues with Diggins Smith. Of course, she's out with her pregnancy, but she's unhappy there. So if you look at the other teams that you think that would be, Connecticut then lost key pieces. One of them is right here in our picture. Yeah, it's going to be a problem. These teams on paper should be far, far ahead of the rest of the WNBA, at least this season.
Indeed. Can't wait. Can't wait.
No doubt. So, you got anything in closing, man? What you want to put out there for the people?
Oh, don't know. I don't have anything for real. I probably talked to Amira Unplugged. I mentioned her last week, I think. And my live was blocked all week, so I didn't get to talk to her. But my live is back, so hopefully I get to interview her this sometime this week on TikTok Live. I'll probably do a bootleg versus, I guess. And this afternoon at some point, probably early this evening before the Grammys, maybe between the Pro Bowl and the Grammys, I'm going to do an unmelanated jams session. So all them white groups you like.
You can get some Duran Duran, some Tears for
I
Fears.
I got you.
Tears for Fears, hook the brother up, man.
Yes, sir. No doubt.
Yeah. I'll be watching basketball right now while we're on. Great women's basketball game for my women's fans. Number 1, South Carolina is playing number 5, UConn right now.
Yeah.
Very, very good game. They're about to head to the half. It's 2-point game right now. This is excellent, especially, South Carolina being undefeated. Gino, what he's had to deal with these injuries and still to only have 2 losses on the season is crazy.
Right.
AZ Fudd in and out of the line. Of course, he's not playing today. We know about Paige. They had to postpone a game earlier or 2 this year because they didn't have enough bodies between injuries and illness.
Crazy.
And Gino shrunk down to around about a seven-person rotation for the most part and still getting it done, but they're battling it out right now. Also on the women's side, about to come on here too. I'm going to pull up another tablet. If you're into women's basketball, you got number 9 Notre Dame. Great squad. Olivia Miles and them, they get busy against Carol Lawson's squad, number 16 Duke. That's going to be a great game. And then if you're looking for something to watch before the Super Bowl, next week, bro, I think it's 2:00, I believe. As of right now, the only 2 undefeated teams left in women's basketball. As of right now, we don't know how this game will end, but South Carolina and LSU. So Don Staley and Ken Mulkey go at it. So they're giving us some treats before the Super Bowl. I cannot wait for next week, but very entertaining. But that's it.
Crazy.
Appreciate everybody who's been checking us out and rolling. Please go and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We've been working on some things. We kind of laid off it a bit, but I got some things in the works. So if you be so kind on YouTube, please go hit that subscribe button. More and more content will be coming. And we'll be back next week for the Super Bowl, where we may have, hoping to have some of the guys from Geek 5 Nation may join us to talk about the Super Bowl. I know Source can't wait. His boy's trying to do big things. So we gonna see. But until next week, we out.
Bird gang.